DAZN.
DAZN is the home of boxing, with over 150 live fights a year.
This fight has lived up to expectations.
Good. Finds the cut. He's walking it, he's looking, he's begging, and it worked.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever. Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win! Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
It's their time. A night to remember.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts now! Let's go.
How do you like it? On the show. So aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. The corner knockdown. Still the undisputed champion of the world.
Fight night, only on DAZN.
Welcome to Fight Night live from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where the beginning of another Riyadh season kicks off in style with an absolutely fantastic fight card headlined by the battle for light heavyweight supremacy between Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol.
Legend tells, at the peak of the highest mountain, there lay dormant for thousands of years a mystical crown with the power to rule all of mankind. Lusted by men, willing to die for its gift. While two emerged undefeated, there could be only one possible outcome. For one to wield the power to rule them all.
We've been to LA, we've been to London, but we're back in the Kingdom Arena here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, for the first time since June to find out who is the best 175-pounder in the world. I'm Adi Oladipo, alongside two former world champions, Liam Smith and Andy Lee. Gents, we are here. Liam, first time in this arena. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's a top arena, being a top place. I've been to Jeddah, I've been to Jeddah twice actually with Callum, but now I'm in Riyadh and I'm looking forward to today, which is a special card.
Andy, you've been here many times, right? As working here, a spectator, also working in the corner of Tyson Fury. We'll get to that a bit later in the show. This is insane, isn't it? Every time you come back, it just feels like it's bigger and better all the time.
Yeah, it's just over a year since I've started coming here, and every time I come back, it's getting bigger. The events are getting more special. The fights are getting more important, and it's nice to be here in this capacity for a change.
Yeah, look, you know Artur Beterbiev better than anyone, right? Your brother fought him last time at Callum. Just how good is he?
Yeah, that's what I think people are getting a little bit confused with when they're saying, a puncher against boxer. The man's an Olympian, the man's had 20 fights, 20 knockouts. He's not just a puncher, he's a very good fighter, a very good boxer, got very good feet also, and he's at this level for a reason, and I think we're going to see that again tonight.
What do you make of the matchup? Everyone's saying stylistically it's very different, right? One's a boxer, one's a puncher. It's a bit more than that, though, isn't it?
No, this is a classical matchup. It's a matchup as old as time in boxing. An aggressive puncher. It's general terms, but he's a very skillful, aggressive puncher against a classical boxer who uses his feet and footwork and distance control, but it has all the ingredients for an all-time classic fight.
Yeah, I feel like going into this fight, a lot of people said it's a 50-50 fight, and I feel like that's what it feels like now. Undercard has a couple of 50-50 fights as well. The co-main event, certainly that. Fraser Clark versus Fabio Wardley, get it on again. The first fight I thought was incredible. This is going to be as good, right?
Yeah, it is. That's probably the next toughest fight to pick on this card, 50-50. There's as many split opinions on that fight as there is the main event, and the last fight was probably fight of the year. I don't think it got it, but I'm picking this one to be exactly the same.
It's good, isn't it? I mean, two guys. Has Fabio surprised you a little bit? Again, look, we talk about it a lot, but I think we should continue, right? White collar background. I mean, all the way to this, where he's British and Commonwealth champion. Has he surprised you?
His ability, he's got a natural ability, and he's obviously a quick learner. He's come from that white collar background, and sometimes that shows. And in the first fight, that certainly showed. But you can't take away talent, and he's a big puncher. For a guy with little experience. But in Clark, it's the complete opposite. A guy who's been an amateur for many years, an Olympian, silver medalist, a guy who really knows the game. And again, the ingredients are there for the matchup here. And I think these guys could fight 10 times, and 10 times it will be a classic.
They'll be hoping they don't meet 10 times, because that first time was enough, I think, for both of them. The fight card is full of characters, full of personalities. I think the biggest character and personality is a guy that you shared the ring with for a few rounds, Chris Eubank Jr. What's he like in the ring and out of the ring?
In the ring, he's fit. He can do the rounds well. He's athletic and strong. Out the ring, he's very hard to be around. Obviously, I think that's no secret. Me and him, I'll never see eye to eye, but he's a character, and you think you need them in boxing.
It's 1-1 between you two. Normally when that happens, you won the first fight via stoppage, he won the second fight via stoppage. Normally, conversation of a trilogy happens immediately. Why hasn't it happened?
Yeah, normally, and a lot of people expected it to happen, but Chris seems to be happy with 1-1. There was no talk of the trilogy. He seemed to say he wants a bigger fight, but now he's fighting Kemal Zenemeta, so I'm not sure why we couldn't have fought today, and then we could have fought Conor next if that was the case. If he'd beat me, if that was an easy fight, he could have fought his big fights next, but he chose to fight Kemal Zenemeta today, and I'm not sure them reasons.
We'll see. You're here, he's here, anything can happen. All right, that's a few characters on this fight card as well. Let's remind you of the fight card and what you can expect today from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. One fight card you probably don't see, and it's a bonus one we've got for you. Marco Maric is taking on Christian Lopez Flores. Bonus fight card, good fight as well. We kick things off, Mohamed Alakel, the local guy from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He takes on Jesus Gonzalez. Sky Nicholson, the current WBC featherweight champion, takes on Raven Chapman. The first world championship fight on a Riyadh season card in Saudi Arabia. Maybe one of the best personalities and characters and prospects in world boxing, Ben Whittaker, takes on Liam Cameron. That should be a very, very good fight. We just spoke about him, didn't we? Chris Eubank Jr. takes on Kamil Zaramata. They fight for the IBO middleweight title. Jaya Pataya, I think the best cruiserweight in the world, defends his IBF title against Jack Massey. Very, very good fight, the current European champion. Fabio Wardy versus Fraser Clark. It's going to be round 13, not round 1, between these two. British heavyweight title on the line. And then our main event. We've been waiting for this one, at least I have anyway, for a couple of years. Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol for everything at 175 pounds. Incredible. All right, it's been quite a week, hasn't it, on DAZN? I mean, fight week, we've covered it all. We've got you covered, but it's been a bit, a bit crazy, a bit of personalities. Let's remind ourselves just what fight week's been like.
Two incredible undefeated champions for all of the marbles in the sport of boxing. The undisputed dream.
I don't believe she's as confident as she's trying to portray that she is.
You said you're a Sheffield Beterbiev. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I hope you make it home nice and safe after this, but I'm going to brook you up in that ring.
I look incredible in this outfit. In fact, I might just wear this for the rest of the trip.
He'll need that sword what Chris has got next to stop me coming at him on Saturday night.
The talking's nearly over and it's almost time, to land them gloves on Fabio. And my desire and my hunger to become the British champion is as big as ever.
You talk a lot.
That's my job.
Yeah.
You should try it.
All right, let's introduce you to the rest of the team this evening. It is a stellar team as well. You can see them all there. Let's first go down to ringside, though. Nicola Adams, two-time Olympic gold medalist, is ringside with Olivia Bazaglo. Olivia.
Thank you very much, Ade. Yeah, as we say, history is being made tonight. The first female fight on a Riyadh season card. And this woman to my left is no stranger to making history herself. Nicola, thank you so much for talking with me. Just first of all, a historic moment for women's boxing. It's special, isn't it?
Yeah, this is really exciting. It's going to open up the doors for women in terms of pay, in terms of engagement, in terms of profile. It's very exciting.
I mean, Nicola, I know you retired back in 2019, but does all this make you want to put your gloves back on, maybe?
Oh, do you know what? It really does give me the itch to get back in the ring.
No, we need to talk about Sky Nicholson against Raven Chapman. Both undefeated fighters, both been very confident. I mean, Andy Lee on our broadcast said he thinks Raven's in with a chance, but you've got Sky for this one. Just tell me why.
Yeah, I've got Sky for this one. She's got the height and reach, really rangy. She's got a really good jab. I think Raven, as she throws her right hand, she falls over the front foot and comes square, which is perfect for a southpaw.
Do you think that Raven, when you look at the fighters that Sky has faced, do you think Raven's her toughest test so far?
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely be able to answer questions on Sky's chin as well, because Raven does have a very, very good, powerful right hand.
Okay, early prediction. I'm going to ask you for this, Nicola. You're joining us all night, so you'll be hearing plenty from Nicola. I'm sure you'll have plenty more predictions being thrown your way, but what do you reckon for Sky against Raven?
I reckon Sky on points.
Nicola, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Obviously, as I said, you'll be seeing Nicola loads across our broadcast, and I'm going to be down ringside, seeing if there's any celebs, any VIP guests that I can have a word with.
There'll be plenty of celebs here. Great to have Nicola Adams on the team, former world champion as well. All right, let's go to Chris Mannix, who's in the ring walk area alongside Matchroom CEO Eddie Hearn.
Thank you, Ada. Yeah, Eddie, about a year into these Riyadh season events, they just seem to keep getting bigger and bigger, don't they?
Well, firstly, welcome to DAZN viewers around the world. Tonight, we are lucky people. I'm standing here now, I've never seen anything like it. The production, the opening of Riyadh season, superstars of music performing here later, and superstars of the world of boxing just down there in the ring. One of the fights, for me, of our generation, the fight of the year, the best fight in boxing. Tonight, it all goes down live on DAZN. Congratulations for tuning in.
You know, one of the advantages of Riyadh season, they seem to be able to make fights happen that couldn't happen otherwise. And I think there's no greater example of that than this fight right here. You've tried to make this fight over the last couple of years. A lot of things have gotten in the way. Is this just more evidence that Riyadh season can make these types of fights happen?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, when you get a fight like this, two world champions, two undefeated world champions, of course, it's an expensive fight to make, but also you've got one fighter with one network, another fighter with another network, two rival promoters. And then His Excellency gets in the middle. He knows his boxing and he says, I want to watch Bivol Beterbiev. I think it's one of the best fights. Right, you lot, bang your heads together, everyone, let's make it happen. And we're all the benefactors of that tonight. The promoters, the fighters particularly, but also the fans. 1 year into Riyadh season, and it's changed the face of sport. Riyadh is becoming the home of boxing. You know, what big events are we seeing in Vegas anymore compared to what we're seeing here in Riyadh in the Middle East? And long may it continue, because it's a real treat for fight fans, and they've got another one tonight with a great card.
All right, so you're riding with Dimitri Bivol in the main event. That's been your guy for the last couple of years, promoted him. He's facing a destroyer in Artur Beterbiev. Knocked out every opponent he's been in the ring with, including your guy, Callum Smith, in his last time out. What does Dimitri Bivol have to do to get a win tonight?
He's got to be perfect. You know, there is only one person in the sport of boxing that can beat Artur Beterbiev, and it's Dimitri Bivol. But to do it, he has to do all the things that he has. Patience, skill, just concentration. He's got to get this perfectly right to win this fight. Beterbiev is a wrecker, right? You're a ticking time bomb waiting to go off facing this man. He's going to get you. Can you slow that clock down? Can you slow his feet down? Can you move in and out? Can you keep him off you? Can you outsmart him? Can you outfight him at times? And it's such a difficult job, but Dimitri is the man to do it. A pure 50-50 fight. But I believe he has the temperament to win this fight tonight.
You tried to pull the pin on that ticking time bomb early in the week. Almost got hit by Artur Beterbiev. You got to be careful, man.
Look, it's a show. Yeah. We got more words out of Artur Beterbiev than we've had for the last 6 fights. The guy has a personality. He's actually very funny. You know, we need to see more of that. Get under his skin? I don't think so, but listen, it's all a game of soldiers.
All right, so these Riyadh season cards have turned into something of a Matchroom versus Queensberry type of rivalry, and your record is very bad.
Thanks.
It's very, very bad in these matchups. But you do have a chance to kind of close the gap tonight. Sky Nicholson taking on Raven Chapman in the first women's boxing match here in Saudi Arabia. How significant is that to have 2 women fighting on this card?
Well, so significant because, you know, probably the only area of the sport that hasn't yet benefited from Riyadh season is women's boxing. That all changes tonight with a brilliant matchup. I mean, I know it's Matchroom v Queensberry, but it's also 2 undefeated featherweights and a great clash of styles. You know, Sky has hardly lost a round in her professional campaign so far, won the World Championship with ease, but Raven is good, she's strong, you know, she's got high punch output, she can probably punch a little bit as well. So again, another performance from a fighter that's got to get it right tonight in Sky Nicholson, got to stay switched on. I believe she's got the skills to win this fight well, but only if she can keep in the moment of everything in here, and that's a historic matchup. You've got to concentrate in the madness of what we're seeing in Riyadh and Riyadh season tonight, and I believe she'll come through.
All right, about 2 months' time, we are going to get the rematch between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. You're going to be watching that fight pretty closely because you represent Anthony Joshua. Tough loss against Daniel Dubois a few weeks ago. What's going through AJ's mind right now? What is he thinking about? Because we've been reading a lot about a potential immediate rematch with Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, I mean, it's still quite fresh. We're 3 weeks in, you know, still hurting, obviously. And I think you go through various emotions after a fight, to a few days later, to a week later, to 2 weeks later. You know, contractually, I think we have another week or so to make an actual decision. I can't tell you what we're going to do. It's going to be down to Anthony. There's big value and maybe a little bit of common sense to see what happens on December 21. I know the fighter in Anthony Joshua will want that immediate rematch. There's a shot at the World Championship in his hand. He believes he can beat Daniel Dubois. There's not a lot of time to prepare coming off a defeat like that. I don't know, these are all things that we've got to discuss over the next week or so. But ultimately, he will be the one that makes the decision, and we'll all give him that input and make sure that it's the right one for him physically and mentally.
All right, well, Usyk Fury 2, December 21st, live on DAZN. We're all excited for that. Eddie, we'll let you take your seat. Ade, we'll go back upstairs to you.
I love on that little graphic there, Matchroom versus Queensberry, someone snuck in Chev Clark versus Ellis Zorro, just to kind of make it feel like Matchroom are doing the business here. All right, let's go down to your commentary team now. Darren Barker, Barry Jones, and the great Todd Grisham.
The great Todd Grisham, Ade, always coming through for me. You know, we could discuss all night long who's the best pound-for-pound fighter and boxer, a lot of different opinions, but as far as who's the most dominant fighter in all of boxing, you can't argue. He's the only champion with a perfect knockout record. 20 wins, 20 KOs. It's Artur Beterbiev. How has he been so dominant, Darren?
I think he's been given a gift from God. You know, the man is a machine. You see him in the gym training, and I think one of the big things away from the technical side of stuff is when he's got you hurt, he's a terrific finisher. He really, really wants to do damage. He's nasty, and he's a box office draw because of that, Barry.
Yeah, and it's not just the power, as Dan alluded to. He's a clever, intelligent fighter. He looks at your patterns, and he punches with different weight of a shot. It's not just raw aggression. He'll touch you with one shot and bang you with another. So he gives you a false sense of security. And his footwork is fantastic. He doesn't glide around with grace like Bivol. But he puts that front foot right in front of your stance. He suffocates you with the space. And when he gets you on the ropes, what Darren said, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you mentioned intelligence in the ring. I'm not sure anybody has a higher in-ring IQ than Dmitry Bivol. What does he need to do to stop this crusher?
He needs to use what he's got the best, and that's the boxing brain. He's probably the most efficient fighter in world boxing today, certainly with the jab, and the jab's going to be key to try and keep Beterbiev away. And if he doesn't keep him away, just to keep Beterbiev thinking about that, evading that jab, rather than thinking about coming back and hitting you with a shot. The in and out movement from Bivol is very, very important for against Beterbiev, but he can't be greedy like he was against Canelo. The six-punch combinations, if he throws that against Beterbiev, he gets caught. So we've got to be 4, take a step to the right or a spin to the left and get out of trouble.
It's just everything is on his terms, as you can see here, Todd. You know, he knows when to move his feet and stay out of danger. And when he does that, may I add, he just does it within a matter of centimetres, inches. He just does enough to miss the shots and fires back. And we've also seen here, he knows how to handle the big occasion. And that's very important when you're going into a fight of this magnitude, Todd.
Yeah, we'll talk about the rest of the undercard in just a minute, but let's focus in on Jai Opetaia. There's a lot of hype around this guy, all excitement. He had a real scare in his last fight against Marius Briedis, but there's potentially talk about maybe Jai Opetaia facing the winner of this fight. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but Jai Opetaia tonight, what do you expect to see from him?
He's in with a very game-tough challenger. Jack Massey is looking to change his life, fulfill a dream and become a world champion, and that drives you, that gives you an extra percentage you didn't know you had. So it's going to be difficult, but it's very hard to look past Jai for me. The way he boxes, again, we've mentioned Bivol's footwork, but Opetaia's footwork, so good. And he's another one. He's got that nasty streak. When he has you hurt, Barry, he might, most of the time he gets you done.
Yeah, when he won the world title against Briedis in an absolute war, broken jaw, and he showed some tremendous toughness. He had 2 fighters from the UK, and they're good fighters, but below his level, and he blasted through them. That was the truth. He looked absolutely phenomenal, and we all got a bit carried away with how fearsome he really is. But then against Briedis in the second fight, he had a bit of a reality check because Briedis is a good fighter. With his dad back in camp, I think we're going to see a more intelligent Opetaia than we saw before, because how good of a puncher he is, how ruthless, as we see there, how ruthless he can be. What got him to a world title is his boxing intelligence. I think we'll see that tonight, and he'll need that against a big guy in Jack Massey, who's big, strong, and very well structured.
Well, Jack Massey's gone up and fought Joseph Parker as a heavyweight, so he's used to fighting those big boys. What's his key to beating Jai Opetaia?
Discipline. He's got to be smart. He's got to be bullish at times. He's got to pick his moments. I think he's got to gain Opetaia's respect early. He's got to try and get that size. He looked big at the weigh-in. He is the bigger out of the two, so I think he's got to be bullish and be a little nasty himself.
I think he's got to try and push Opetaia back, and certainly don't throw with Opetaia, but every time Opetaia stops throwing, you got to make him feel it. So every time Opetaia's got to know, if I make a mistake, something's coming back. It's a risky, I think, attitude to have, but I think he has to do that because he's up against a guy who's technically better than him. But he's big, he's strong, he can take a punch, and he has a good engine, Jack Massey. This is not the easy fight that everyone thinks it is for Opetaia. Yeah. He's a big favourite, but he'll have to work for it tonight.
And Jack Massey, I believe, has the best nickname on the card, One Smack Jack. Pretty good, huh? Action gets started at 7 p.m. local time. We'll be calling the action here ringside, but for now, we send it back up to Ade.
Thank you, gents. Yeah, that's a really good one. IBF Cruiserweight title on the line. Could be the best of the undercard, but I think the fight everyone's looking forward to on the undercard is that rematch between Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clark, British heavyweight title on the line. And I was unlucky to sit between both when we've done a little face-off.
I never didn't respect Fabio, you know. We didn't have a relationship beforehand, but we're in British boxing. We see each other at shows and stuff like that. It's never been a case of being disrespectful towards him. I respect what he's done. It's just the same as any competitor. He's got something that I wanted.
Build up to a fight. There's some needle, some back and forth, some things said. All of that really goes out of the window once you share 12 hellish rounds with someone. There's a good level of respect there for it. There's some unsettled business here. I'm not happy with the draw.
Everyone has their goals, but for me, you know, the British clashes, the heavyweights, I think the first one was so good, you know, and just not even the fight, just the atmosphere, the build-up. Who wouldn't want to do that again, you know? And I think we suited each other really well. You know, we made a really good fight.
I'm not gonna lie or disagree and say it was a close fight, because we both had good back and forth moments. But I would say if you split the fight down the middle, then that point deduction mixed with the knockdown, that brings me out as a winner. I think that much is obvious. Ultimately, all that matters is we've ticked that one off and we're set up for round 13.
I just think it's like I say, nothing, but I just think it's a bit naive for him to think that he's just going to blow me over like he did the first time, you know. What they see...
I didn't say anything about blowing you over.
No, but the way you're talking, just like you're going to turn up and just win.
I'm going to turn up and win. I didn't say I'm going to blow you over, though. No, I'm going to turn up and win.
Yeah. It sounded like you feel it's going to be an easy job.
Not at all.
Well, that's just the way it sounds.
I didn't say easy.
It's just the way it sounds.
I didn't say blow you over. I didn't
It's
say
just the way it
none of
sounds.
those things. I just said I'm going to turn up and win.
It's just the way it sounds. What matters is October 12th, when that first ball goes, who's on it, who's learned from the mistakes, who's willing to go to the dark places. I know I am. I expect he is. But who's going to be clever when they're doing that? I believe I will.
There was a moment there in that face-off where I thought a table might be thrown, but both of them kept it respectable. Who won the first fight in your eyes? Who won the first fight?
I thought it was very close, but I just edged towards Frazier.
Yeah.
The first fight I did, yeah. I know the knockdown and the point deduction did make it close, but I thought Frazier bagged enough early rounds to win the fight.
Yourself, Andy?
I thought a draw was a good call because it was close and there was some controversy with the low blows and the knockdowns and the points deduction. But Emmanuel Stewart always said the better boxer will win the rematch. You know, when a fight's close in the first one. And it's hard to know who is the better boxer in this one.
I don't agree with that statement.
You don't think so? No.
I lost the rematch.
Well, the one who can box will win the rematch. You lost the rematch because you were injured.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, it's not, you went into the fight injured. It's not a good reflection, but like they said, who has learned from the first fight and who can make the adjustments? The thing I thought Fabio's was a mistake that he made was that when he had Clark hurt, his inexperience showed. He never had the composure to finish him. He just went wild, and that showed going down the stretch because he was gassed. And for Clark, he's got the better boxing. He's got the more pedigree. He's an Olympian. Is to use his boxing and use his education and make Fabio move his feet, because Fabio doesn't have that experience. He needs to stand his ground and hold his feet, and he's very dangerous when he is set and planted. But if you make him move his feet, that's when you can get to him.
Okay, wow, we're getting into it, aren't we? The crowd is starting to file in here as well to the Kingdom Arena. We're live at 7 o'clock. Make sure you join us. Go to DAZN.com, buy that pay-per-view. You do not want to miss something special coming your way in a few moments.